Double Treasure Class 87, or as I like to call it TC87 Plus, existed in Lord of Destruction and D2R 2.4, but it was only accessible through monsters in 85 zones. However, with the drop and release of Terror Zones in patch 2.5, this enabled bosses, super uniques, and standard white mobs in non-85 areas to achieve this through monster level scaling for the first time. You may recall that in Hell Terrorized Zones, normal monsters can scale up to a cap of 96, elites 98, with bosses and uniques up to 99. The uppermost desecrated treasure classes are triggered once monsters hit or exceed monster level 96. This is where double dipping TC87 becomes accessible and significant. In order to demonstrate this, I wanted to paint the canvas and show how this actually works using max roll as an effective drop calculator. If we think of the summoner who is a super unique with a boss classification, he normally is monster level 80, and you can find him in Arcane Sanctuary with Summoner H as his treasure class. Now, let's look at him terrorized and jump into the game data. So I'm going to manually upgrade him here and push him up to monster level 90. And what you're going to notice at the Desecrated D level is that he is a step below treasure class 87, and he's currently rolling up to 84. Now, the minute that I get to Desecrated E, you're going to notice that his monster level is now 93, which means my character level would have to be 88 using that +5 Terror Zone modifier. At this point, we are now officially entering TC87, but the thing to focus on here is that you're only rolling weapon and armor 87 one time. But the minute that we upscale and push Summoner to monster level 96 or above using the +5 modifier, the big thing to focus on here is that you now are seeing weapon and armor twice on 87. This is where it starts to get super compelling and significant as you think about the implications of farming bosses and super uniques and elites, for example. Let's dive a little bit further and unpack an example looking at Andariel. In order to understand the significance of TC87 Plus, we have to first dive into statistics. When we compare Andariel Desecrated G versus F, we're looking at the singular roll versus the double dip into TC87. When you look at the baseline of the singular roll, you only have a 0.045% chance to roll an item from TC87 and Desecrated G. But the minute we upgrade Andariel into the double dip, you then have varying degrees of intersections because the armor and weapon percentages are slightly different. You now have a 0.22% chance to roll from armor with a 0.45% chance to roll from the weapons. Now, we know on the surface those percentages are obviously higher because of the double dip sequencing, but how significant is that? Let's look at the difference in probability. When we actually break down what this means for comparing the armor versus the baseline, you have a 400% probability increase to roll this in the TC87 Plus treasure class. That again is comparing the 0.225 over that of 0.045. But where this really gets fun and spicy is looking at the differential of the weapon, which is a staggering 900% improvement in probability to roll an item from the weapon 87 when again you are pulling from the TC87 treasure class. Well, there you have it, Sanctuary. TC87 Plus is clearly the new meta, and it was certainly a diamond hidden in the rough and one of the major significant benefits that was part of Terrorized Zones. The ability for this now to extend to bosses and especially super uniques is extremely compelling. When we think about super uniques, again, they don't have a no drops. They are guaranteed to drop an item, but they also have 2 picks, which actually means that you have quadruple the chance from a super unique to actually drop from TC87 because you have the double dip and the picks roll it twice. When we also think about someone like a Bale, for example, because Bale is already monster level 99, it doesn't matter what your character level is. Immediately upon Bale being desecrated, he also gets the immediate double dip, so you don't have to worry about what character level you are when you're power farming Throne, World Zone, and of course slaying Bale in the chamber. Before we wrap, I just wanted to give a very quick shout out and thank you to all of you. It is because of you that I was able to successfully get to YouTube Partner, and it officially allowed me to bring memberships to my channel. For those that know, memberships are very similar to the Twitch subscription process. So as you go to my channel and you click join, you'll see that I am able to enable certain tiers that you guys are able to contribute towards my contribution of this channel. My first one, of course, is a fun teaser with some fun custom badges and emotes. And as our membership and community grows together, I will, of course, be adding to these tiers and baking out more custom emotes and badges. So again, you don't have to feel that you have to do this. It obviously is something that you can help participate to the support of the channel. But again, thank you so much for always being a very valuable member in my community. I appreciate all the support and tune in. Enjoy the rest of season 3, and I'm sure I'll be catching many of you on Diablo 4.